held on to every promise you forgot you made, every word you whispered that slowly slipped away. You used to touch my heart like it meant something to you. Now every memory feels colder than the truth. You walked out of the room but left the door half open, and I waited for a reason to believe we weren't broken. But silence grew louder than the shouting in my chest, and your absence taught me things your presence never expressed. I kept trying to stitch together pieces you tore apart, trying to feel alive with a dying heart. You stopped checking if I made it home okay, stopped noticing the weight I carried every day, and I begged for you in places you wouldn't hear, cried for you in moments you never come near. Love shouldn't hurt the way you made it known, but you left me in the dark and you let me bleed alone. And I realized too late you were learning how to leave. Every cold conversation was another cut under my sleeve. You let me bleed alone while you walked away like nothing was wrong. You left me fighting shadows in this empty home, trying to heal from a love long gone. You let me fall apart while you saved every piece of your heart. Tell me how you slept while breaking my own. You let me bleed, you let me bleed alone. I gave you honesty you didn't want to feel, showed you every scar you refused to help me heal. You said I'm here, but you always stood so far, loving me with distance like it was who you are. And I kept trying to be enough to keep you close, but you loved the version of me that hurt the most. So I folded myself smaller just to make you stay. But shrinking for someone shouldn't be the way. Every night I waited for a sign you'd fight for me, but all I got was the truth of your apathy. You stopped reaching for the hand that held your fear, stopped caring if my heart disappeared. You didn't break me loudly, you did it slow, in the quiet ways nobody else could know. Every tear felt heavier than bone, because you watched me cry and still left me bleeding alone. And I realized too late you were learning how to leave. Every cold conversation was another cut under my sleeve. You let me bleed alone while you walked away like nothing was wrong. You left me fighting shadows in this empty home, trying to heal from a love long gone. You let me fall apart while you saved every piece of your heart. Tell me how you slept while breaking my own. You let me bleed, you let me bleed alone. Dark, emotional, I scream without a sound, I beg without a word. You didn't hear the pain, you didn't want to hear. I reached for the version of you I used to know, but you gave me someone colder, someone ready to go. my drowning look like peace. Let my heartbreak look like me. And every time I called for you, you chose not to bleed. I still held on while you let go. Still tried to love what you didn't show. And somehow I kept believing you'd come home, but you left.